A lot to talk about out here today, from formerly known as Lannie in the Philippines, now Lionrock, moving over Hainan. We also have two tropical depressions out here towards the east of the Philippines, but more or less they're embedded in that general monsoonal flow out here. We have what is known as in the Philippines as Maring, also Kompasu in Japan, and then also Nando being named by Pagasa there just towards the west of Guam. So like I said, there's a lot going on. In short, in non-technically speaking, it's a pretty big hot mess out here. First, though, let's talk about the one that's kind of removed from these, and it really is going to be bringing rainfall across Hainan here into northern Vietnam for sure. We're going to be looking at some localized flooding, and that is Lionrock, by far the coolest name on the Typhoon Committee's naming list here from the World Meteorological Organization. This is overall traversing towards the west. We're still getting a little bit of inflow coming in from the south, and I think it's going to maintain tropical storm intensity as it comes on shore right around Hanoi. Now, really not a good chance of this becoming a typhoon. There is a bit of shear it has to deal with. Plus, you can see those wind barbs kind of flowing in from the north right here. That's indicating a little bit of drier inflow coming out of mainland China. So that's going to kind of keep this at bay. And once it moves on shore, it's just going to hit those mountains there across the Indochina Peninsula and absolutely rip this little guy apart. Meanwhile, though, Kompasu moving in here from the east, that's definitely going to be an impactor later on into the week. But let's talk about these two. All right, so here on our Friday, there's look at your satellite picture. There's the Philippines. Guam is back here. This is Kompasu here, and boy, also known as Maring in the Philippines. You know what? I'm going to call it by its international name. I don't like flipping back and forth. It just adds to confusion. So we're going to talk about this one, Kompasu and Nando there. Now, just look at this real quick before I get into the forecast. There's just this general flow, and a few people have been calling it almost a Fujiwara effect. It kind of is. Now, Fujiwara effect, from my experience out here, a lot of people panic. All right, when you hear that word, it's a big fancy word. Actually, whenever we typically see a Fujiwara effect, it usually keeps systems relatively weak because you have energy here and you have energy here, and they're kind of fighting with each other. They're not consolidating. So this probably won't become a typhoon in the near future if these continue to fight with each other. But what it will do is bring that overall broad circulation here as it traverses towards the west, pull in moisture all the way down towards, Palawan, across Visayas, and then eventually even over towards eastern Taiwan too. There's just this large flow of rainfall, and that means a lot of people are going to be looking at rainfall as we go ahead over the course of Monday into Tuesday. This could strengthen once it gets a little bit further towards the west, but for now, you can see here as we go ahead through Friday and into Saturday and Sunday, winds will be about 75, getting up to about 85 kilometers per hour. There's the center line. But this is one of those storms. The center line is always important, where we get the general track of it. But it's all about the, not even the cone of air, the width of it. This is going to be just a very large system pulling in moisture, clear, and look at Cebu, here on Monday. Yeah, that's influence from this storm system. And also that moisture is wrapping around along the northern periphery across northern Luzon into Region 1, and even seeing some showers pull back by Tuesday and Wednesday for the Metro Manila area as this guy continues to track off towards the west. Then there's Nando as well. My fantastic graphics from Metro Weather, not writing down the details of this because, Pagasa not giving them the information here as far as the track and everything into my weather system. So I'm just showing you what Pagasa's graphic looks like. They're keeping this a pretty weak storm system pulling off towards the west. JMA not warning on this one. They're really keeping Kompasu. So there's technically three systems here, but I would really call Maring and Nando the same one. I'm actually a little intrigued that Pagasa is naming an area here and an area here two tropical systems, when in general what JMA is seeing is that large flow around one low-level circulation. It's the difference between you're seeing several cities, and then you have kind of the metro area. For my friends in the Philippines, maybe you're talking about the NCR, but then you have the downtown Manila and Makati, and then maybe Cavite City. You have all those cities right in there. That's kind of what we're seeing over here with this broad circulation. And I would rather draw attention to the center of the broad circulation, and we see that overall flow as this pulls towards the west. So let's time this out hour by hour. Here we go. Monday morning, this is where we start to see some of those bigger impacts into northwestern Luzon across Region 1. A party for sure, even extending down towards the Cagayan Valley. And look back towards Taiwan. Also seeing that inflow of moisture, could be seeing some pretty good totals pile up on the eastern seaboards. Good news that is away from TAIPE, but definitely enough to cause a bit of flooding out there as well. And just another view, very similar areas that were also impacted by Kiko, if you remember. This moves right over the Batanes Islands. Good news, you know, yeah, it's going to be windy here, but no super typhoon like we saw with Kiko. Remember that one came through and absolutely just wrecked the place. For the Magat Dam, I know a few people are probably curious about that and watching the inflow. I did check their levels. I checked that ever since last November's storm out here. Remember the serious flooding. They still about 4 more meters before they start spilling water, so they still have to wait for a little more water level rise. So it's not an immediate concern, but something you want to watch out for if you are in the Cagayan Valley. So in short, a lot of rainfall, a lot going on from this guy Lionrock to this one to this one. That general flow out here, all traversing towards the west, impacting the Philippines with plenty of rainfall. I know I got into a lot today. So if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. There's Facebook Pacific Typhoon Season. A lot of good information shared there. So if you guys want to check that out as well, if you like my video updates, if you like just watching these because you're interested in tropical weather, that's another good place to kind of get more information. And also at westernpacificweather.com, I quite often post there, as well as other team members here at Westpacwx. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. It's always very important. And if you got any questions or anything, please let me know. Plus, there's just a quick look. I'm just running through the local forecast here. If you do like these updates, please to check out our Patreon. It's just a few looks at some of the people who are helping us. Typhoons being $5 a month, and the super typhoons, those people that are donating $10 a month. You legends. Absolutely always appreciate it. So thank you very much. All right. Stay safe out there, as always.